In 1984, the BEF created the Ernest R. Caverly Award to recognize Brookline educators who have made outstanding contributions to excellence in education. The award is named after Dr. Caverly, a distinguished public school leader, educator, and Brookline school superintendent. Each year, the BEF asks educators in Brookline to nominate fellow colleagues for this award. The BEF convenes a special committee composed of BEF board members and prior Caverly winners who consider the wonderfully descriptive and inspiring letters submitted in support of each nominee by colleagues, parents, and former students. On behalf of the Brookline Education Foundation, we are delighted to announce this year's Caverly Award winners. Olivia Reyelt is the art teacher for every student at Driscoll. Since 2015, Ms. Reyelt has been helping her students harness their artistic creativity in a safe and welcoming environment. As one of the few teachers who teaches every student every year they are at Driscoll, Olivia comes to know her students very well, sees them grow up, and gains such a unique perspective that teachers often come to her to hear her thoughts on certain students. Her dedication to making sure that the art curriculum integrates with what they are learning and ensuring that Arts Equinox is a success every year, as well as just being a warm and welcoming presence in the school. Olivia Reyelt is well loved by students, teachers, and parents alike. As an excellent all-around educator, the BEF is pleased to give Olivia Reyelt this award. It is my pleasure to introduce David Euclid, the principal of Driscoll School, who will share some thoughts about Olivia.
Thank you, Liz. And again, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've done for our teachers and for our community. Many of our teachers at Driscoll this year have received, I think, about 5 or 6 awards, and it really enriches all of our work as teachers and as educators, and it enriches our students and our community. So thank you for all the work that you've done. I am so excited, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited, and it's my pleasure of working as an administrator with Olivia Reyelt for the past 9 years. Since 2015, Ms. Reyelt has given her heart to the Driscoll community by sharing her passion for art in so many ways. The artwork that our students produce are absolutely amazing, and they're a symbol of what we value at the Driscoll School: individual expression and a true commitment to the arts. Ms. Reyelt can be seen hours after school, sometimes into the evening, making displays in our hallways or placing pottery on our new display cabinets on the 4th floor. Ms. Reyelt has livened up the top of the student cubbies in our elementary school's wings by placing student-created 3-dimensional pieces on top of these units. This type of dedication to making our school beautiful happens throughout the school year. In the art room, Ms. Reyelt brings an energy and a passion to her work as a teacher. She is always well prepared and provisioned for each class before they enter her space, which is not easy when you have to prepare for 9 grade levels. There is always purpose and meaning behind each of the units that she teaches. Ms. Reyelt not only instructs her students on importance of using techniques like shadow and perspective in their projects, she spends time having her students share, comment, and appreciate each other's unique piece of work. Ms. Reyelt teaches her students to notice each other's expression as well as the nuances that make up a piece of artwork. Her teaching involves instruction on specific skills as well as attention toward building community among her students. Ms. Reyelt is a true professional who gives countless hours to the entire K-8 school community. In March, when it's time for Arts Equinox, which is a unique event in Brookline, Ms. Reyelt created a tradition where the day before this event, she organizes all her students' artwork and puts on an art show for the Driscoll community. This year, it was housed in our new multi-purpose room, which allowed families to come after school and into the evening to walk through and enjoy a series of displays containing collages, paintings, and drawings. Tables were placed around the interior filled with clay products as well as a variety of 3-dimensional artwork. She even put together a magnificent display of student-created jellyfish that was backlit with LED lights to make it look like a magical underwater scene. It was awesome. Later in the spring, Ms. Reyelt helps our 8th grade play director produce realistic backgrounds and props for our 8th grade play. Students love to work on these projects because Ms. Reyelt's passion for bringing our 8th grade play to life brings a passion for bringing our 8th grade play to life. Under the leadership of Ms. Reyelt and the commitment to the play at Driscoll, with its beautiful backdrops, props, and costumes, the quality of our 8th grade play has been taken to another level. Ms. Reyelt brings so much passion for art education, and she has a strong commitment to each student at Driscoll School. She's a calm and positive presence in our middle school and at staff meetings. She is always willing to go on field trips or help out at any school event. She has even come up with a system where each morning when the bell rings, you can see Ms. Reyelt holding her grade level signs to dismiss our students from the cafeteria in an orderly way to avoid a crush of students as they converge on the main stairwell to go to their classrooms and their homerooms. We are so lucky to have a teacher like Ms. Reyelt at the Driscoll School. I am so happy that you're being recognized for all that you've given to your students, their families, and to the Driscoll community over the years. And it is my honor to introduce this year's K-8 Caverly Award winner, Olivia Reyelt. Do you need help setting that up?
Thank you all. This is a little scary. David's going to plug in. I wanted you guys to see the beautiful work that our students create. All right, here we go. When the Cavalry team entered the Driscoll art room a few weeks ago, I was confused, shocked, and very, very nauseous. Such an incredible and unexpected surprise. It is an especially supportive village that enables me to be successful and happy in my job. Now, this is when I start crying. I could not manage working without all the people that bolster me in my teaching. Thank you, Driscoll School teachers, staff, and administration who really value and understand the importance of arts. I so appreciate your invaluable support of me and my often scatterbrained self. You are an awesome team. Collaboration is a big ingredient to who I am as a teacher. The Driscoll teachers and the art teachers across this district inspire and challenge my thinking, which betters me as an educator. And to the Brookline BEF, Brookline Educational Foundation, all educators and students are so fortunate to have you. You encourage and support us to think outside the box, to imagine something new and exciting to bring to our teaching and to our classrooms. The BEF has provided teachers with excellent individual, collaborative, department, school, and town-wide initiatives and has funded so many interdisciplinary projects in this town. Your work translates to joy in our buildings. My path as a learner is likely what led me right into a career in teaching. My elementary experiences in the mainstream classroom were often anxious ones. I traveled a very bumpy road where traditional teaching practices often did not compute for me. In the academic settings, I struggled to make sense of systems that seemed simple for my peers. Fortunately, in the arts, there was a world of excitement, discovery, and a feeling of competency and joy. Students' learning is full of emotions. It's present in how to learn, what to learn, and most importantly, how students feel about the learning. At one point or another, we all have been asked, what's your favorite memory in school, earliest memory, or your favorite teacher? When I look back over my most poignant memories of school, the memories either have joy or anxiety attached to the emotion. The truly joyous memory in school was when I was in 5th grade and I was handed a clump of poopied, yellowed sheep's wool. I can remember the smell of the farm as well as the scent of the sheep's lanolin. The class was called Sheep to Shawl. We were taught how to card the wool using what looked like 2 dog brushes. As the bits of dried grass and poop fell away, we were then ready to wash the fluffy wool. Over the weeks and then months, we chose dyes to color our wool. We were taught how to use a spinning wheel to spin our own yarn, and then how to knit it. These hands-on interdisciplinary learning projects engaged me completely. My finished piece was a scarf that I wrapped up and I gave to my mother for Christmas. My mom wore the scarf on the coldest of days, saying that it kept her whole body warm. I actually don't doubt that because it was closer to being a rug than actually a scarf. I remember putting it around my neck and talking about how itchy it was, and my mom responding, "It's not itchy on my neck." It also smelled like a farm, but my mom responded, "I don't smell a farm." Mom was willing to cut me some slack and wear the smelly, itchy scarf to prove my success. This paints an accurate picture of my mother. My first teacher, I had no better champion. My mom's understanding of how excited I was by this project led her to rent me a spinning wheel to have it in my room at home. The teacher in her helped me realize that if I worked the spinning wheel while she read my required school reading out loud, my comprehension was nearly perfect. My parents recognized that I was a capable student, given to diving deep into areas of interest and processes that allowed me to control the pace and the scope to imagine more than one solution. This was important to my self-esteem. Both my parents recognized that the arts made me feel success and reflect on how and what I learned. With learning not coming easily for me in most academic subjects, I often felt anxious and inadequate. In third grade, my classroom teacher, Mrs. Frick Richards, discovered that I really couldn't read. Through my first and second grade, I worked hard to fake it and became really good at it. I learned to memorize Mac and Tab books by listening to neighboring kids read them out loud. There clearly was no Fountas-Pimpernel or BAS testing back then. Mrs. Frick Richards explained to my parents that I had very early emerging reading strategies, but that was about it. This was the beginning of a long journey for my parents and myself to discover what kind of learner I was. The art room, the wood shop, and the athletic fields became my sanctuaries at school. When I was drawing, painting, or sculpting, I felt challenged but relaxed. Art provided me a means of self-expression where I could communicate thoughts and feelings that were difficult to articulate verbally or in writing. The arts allowed me to escape from the challenges of the classroom curriculum expectations and immerse myself in a world where I felt capable and in control. Moreover, art and athletics offered me a sense of validation and acceptance from my peers. Thank goodness for this, because as we know, self-esteem and confidence is everything. I've always loved the joy of discovery for myself, and early in my life I realized that children experience this discovery constantly as they explore their world. Working with children was a natural path for me. When I was still a child myself, I was always drawn towards babies and toddlers. My first babysitting job was when I was 11. For years I was clear that I wanted to grow up and have 5 children of my own. Luckily for my husband, Bill, I outgrew that idea, and my desire to surround myself with children morphed from having a large family to having a classroom surrounded by students. My parents were my biggest cheerleaders throughout my schooling. As I was a developing artist and athlete, they encouraged me to consider applying to art school as well as liberal arts school when it was time for college. I was certain that becoming an elementary school teacher was what I wanted, so I went on to a liberal arts school, majored in art, and then went on to receive a master's in teaching. My first job was a second grade classroom teacher. I was hired in a school that was committed to creating collaborative, interdisciplinary lessons for all grades. Our teacher meetings were spent pooling our resources and talents to develop thematic units such as one on the Boston Harbor. The first and second grade teachers worked alongside the theater, art, music, and gym teachers. The students acted in a play about sea creatures that inhabited the harbor. Students wrote letters to legislators to advocate for cleaner water. We participated in beach cleanup in Revere. And for the culmination of their studies, we turned this area of the school into a vibrant harbor with 3-dimensional lighthouses, boats, and nautical flags. The students had constructed papier-mâché animals and showed the devastating impacts of an oil spill. After 8 years of being a first and second grade teacher, I was fortunate to be able to hit the professional pause button for 2 years to have my greatest joys of my life, my daughters Eleanor and Grace. By stepping away from the classroom during that time, I was able to pinpoint what kept my engine running as an educator. The giant 3D beehive when we studied communities and social studies, or the woven hut made from cardboard strips when we studied the culture of the Zulu peoples. My students could crawl inside and let their imaginations wander. These projects were what brought me and my students immense joy. The creeping pressure of meeting academic benchmarks for my 6- and 7-year-old students was challenging what I love the most about teaching. In 2006, I returned to the classroom as an art teacher, and it was the right decision for me. Teaching art fulfills my own creative needs. Watching the imagination of my students unfold so naturally with a paintbrush or a pile of torn paper is truly the best. Each time a student exclaims, "Mrs. Reyelt, did you know that when you mix yellow and blue, you can make green?" It is exciting. Being part of so many exciting discoveries is truly the best. Kindergarten Ella said out loud to her table group, "Painting makes me feel amazing." And yet another kindergarten student screamed, "I hate this stupid rabbit," and tossed his artwork to the floor after his Sharpie marker took an unexpected turn. Being able to then explore the various solutions with a student where they can make a mistake into something artistically meaningful is truly the best. The times are numerous over my 17-year career teaching art where I've heard, "You know what, Mrs. Reyelt, I'm going to be an art teacher when I grow up." One of my former students was shocked to hear that I actually get money to do my job on top of it being, from their eyes, to be so, so fun. Students love, crave, and need this creative hands-on expression as well as in music, dance, and theater. Recently, a sixth grader shuffled out of my art room with his friends and peers and mumbled to one of his friends, "I just don't understand why we have art just one day a week. It doesn't make any sense." I'm asked this significant question by my kindergarten through 8th grade students regularly, and I know my other art colleagues experience the same question. Why do we have art only once a week? Depending on their age, my response is always the same. I totally agree with you. You know, you should ask Mr. Euclid that question. Or for the other ones, I say, I totally agree with you. You should ask Dr. Guillory that question. Sorry, guys. So my journey as a teacher continues. I come to school every day knowing that having the arts in our schools is critical for our students, that the arts boost self-confidence and reduce stress. Creating allows students to learn life lessons on failure, perseverance, resilience, and rigor. The creative process exercises students' critical thinking and enhances communication skills. The arts encourage civic engagement, promote empathy, and cultural awareness. The arts enrich the educational experience of all students, no matter what their learning style is, as they prepare to succeed in an ever-changing world. I'm grateful for my many colleagues I have been part of, I am grateful for my many villages I have been part of during my teaching career. Teachers succeed when a vibrant village works together, where children gain confidence, develop the skills to flourish, and to be able to realize their hopes and dreams. I look forward to being a student, a novice, a beginner this summer. Beyond this unbelievable award, I've also been given, as you heard earlier, a BEF grant this year. I have the opportunity to travel with my librarian colleague, Ann Reed, to Costa Rica this summer to start the planning and research for Driscoll's 2024-2025 Year of the Turtle. The trip will allow us to participate in sea turtle research and learn from those who have devoted their careers to protecting and understanding these amazing animals. Our goal is to share our gained knowledge and excitement by bringing endangered baby freshwater turtles into the library through the Zoo New England Turtle Conservation Program. The Zoo New England Hatch program is referred to as the Head Start program for baby turtles. Students will become researchers and become part of the local conservation efforts. We plan to create interdisciplinary experiences at Driscoll School for our students where they will study turtles up close and, of course, create meaningful artwork inspired by these creatures. And in September, I will come to school fully charged, all in, ready for the next chapter of my teaching career.